Yikes. I hope this is focused, because else I'm not refilming this. Whatever. Hello everybody, my name is Anna and welcome to my channel, Anna Always Reading. Today, I am doing, as the name title of the video suggests, a book talk on The Blood of Olympus by Rick Riordan. If you have not read this book, as it is a book talk, I will be spoiling this book like mad. So, shoo my little friends, and you can go back, go read the book, and then come back and watch this video. So you have 3, 2, 1, exit. So if you're continuing watching, I'm just assuming you've finished this book. So, The Blood of Olympus is the final book in the Heroes of Olympus series, including the, Percy Jackson and the Olympus series. So this is a huge book. This is the conclusion to a massive series. It has 10 books. So, if you think about that, that means it has to be magnificent. This book needs to pull out all the stuff. This is like the last runner in a relay. You have to like be the fastest one because you need to close the door like on everybody else's chances. This book was exactly the opposite. I gave this book 3.5 stars. I don't think I've ever rated a Rick Riordan book that bad. No, I know, because every other Percy Jackson book I've given 5 stars. I know that for sure. I'm going to tell you why I gave those stars. Number 1, I gave 1 star for all the Jason chapters that were in this. Because there were so many Jason POVs and I was like, yay! I love Jason. Jason's my favorite, other than Percy. Number 2, because Rick Riordan gave us 9 other books, you have to give my man some props for that. And number 3, because Rick Riordan was one of my favorite authors, I own like 8 of his books, like not including the person like Heroes of Olympus and otherwise. So I had to give him like 1.5 stars for that. But none of them were really for the merit of this actual book, I feel, because I wanted to give it 4, but it just didn't deserve 4 stars because that would mean I really loved it, but I didn't. So let me tell you why I didn't love it. Number 1, the fight with Gia. Because when I read Kronos' fight, I was like, oh, okay, this is interesting. There's so many details. He's getting chopped up. No, Gaff, no, Luke, you're saving lives. I thought you were the bad guy. Luke, you're sacrifice. But this was like, wait, you're lifting her up for what? What are you doing? Wait, what? What? It's over? Like, for me to cross my room, which is like really narrow walking across, would take longer than reading those 3 paragraphs of the fight that we had. I've written longer essays on why I like shoes, I swear. Number 2, I did not like a lot of the actual things that happened in this book because we had a 4-book build-up. And I feel like I got let down so hard because I read the whole series again, the whole 4 books, and I got back into the groove of the Heroes of Olympus. I was like, yes, you do that, you slay me, you fight those giants. And the actual giant fight was really strange. And the gods were way too friendly. I don't know whether or not it was because, like, Nike was just freaking out, or Nike, or how you pronounce that victory goddess's name. I don't know whether or not that happened, because they were just so kind. Like, Artemis and Apollo were like, oh, okay, la 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 la, you can have this. You can do this. But I actually did enjoy some parts because it was Rick Riordan. I enjoyed all the fandom references that were actually in this. But this is what I think happened. So Rick Riordan noticed the big following he had on Instagram, so decided to like take a scroll through his Instagram page and looked at the Heroes of Olympus hashtag and saw the kids like, oh, you guys like shipping? Oh, that's really nice. I'm gonna include some nice ships. Oh, Leo doesn't have a love. Oh, let me give him one. So this is what I think. He just gave Leo Calypso out of pity. Who else remember Calypso up until like the moment where Leo landed on Oiga? I don't know. Oiga. I was like, oh yeah, Percy spent like half a chapter with you and then you fell in love with him. Great. After that, I had told, she just slipped my mind. And then Rick Riordan just like pulled her out of a hat. She was like, I remember her. Let's give Leo someone to love. So he gave her that, but like, really? Like, she was, and then they just fell in love in like 3 point of views of Leo. That was too insta-love for me. Like, I did not like, it was just, he was like, I love you. And I'm like, no, you don't. You don't. You just met her. You think this is Romeo and Juliet because it's not. So then he leaves, and then I don't know why he just couldn't leave with her. Some next trap. So then he's all like, I swear on the river strikes I'll come back for you. I swear, I promise. She's like, okay, my love. And then she sits there and then she's like, when will my husband return from the war? Get it? Because he's actually in a war. That's a knee slapper. Anyways, so then he goes off and then he sacrifices his life. Then comes back to life, which I didn't understand. Because I had to read that part like 3 times because he gave Hazel the vial, but then he like straight up says, I plugged it into the ventilator systems. Which I don't understand because was it not riding on top of Festus's head? How do you breathe in ventilation systems from a dragon's head and come back to life? So that my man doesn't even go back and tell his friends we just risked his life for that he's actually alive. But I don't think they even care. Like, he like sensed they didn't care about him anymore because Hazel like stood there crying for like, what, 3 chapters? But Hazel forever crying, so who cares? They're like, oh, Leo, I missed you, buddy. And then they're like, wait, no, let's talk about our futures. Let's talk about happy things. Let's go to New Rome. Let's go to New Rome. Yeah, yeah. That's how I read it. And then who knows if he actually ever comes back. Like, I read some things like that Leo actually like took ages going to Oyoga, or like he was dead for longer than he thought, or that he's actually not even alive. That's just his Elysium, and he like just goes and he thinks he's in heaven and he's just alive, not alive. And speaking of characters that just got forgotten or just picked up, am I the only one who remembers Frank's grandma, who like risked her life for Frank, which was actually a better sacrifice because she did more in the help the giants were in my eye. Because she's like, I will never die at the hands of giants. And then Frank's like, okay, Grandma, I love you. And then he's like, I wish I knew what happened to her. And I was like, okay, Rick Riordan, are you going to tell us? You going to tell us or nah? He doesn't tell us. And, okay, these are my personal comments. A lot of people don't like the fact that Riordan didn't find love in this book. But I'm like, who did you expect for him to pull out this time? Like, who was it? The guy who lost half his face? The one who helped out Luke, the evil guy, like, you think she's gonna redeem him? Because she says, like, I swear, I am not defined by any boy that does or does not like me. So that's straight up telling you she's not gonna get any. But I really liked Reina in this. I love seeing her past. Like, seeing, like, why she is so guarded inside because of what her father, like, did. Like, how bitter he got inside of his heart. So I like seeing like why she's so strong. Also, she's daughter of Bellona, and I really liked her sacrifice for the Pegasi because she's all like, the Orion's like, I will kill you. She's like, okay, but don't kill them. And she like falls top of the Pegasi, but then like the cape like protects her, and then she's like, recharge. Oh, they're all like Supergirl on them. Also, I loved Piper in this book. Piper was so great. I liked Rick Riordan actually did a lot of research into Chirioku folklore. I really enjoyed because we got to see some snake stories. Read the book, you'll understand. So I liked how Piper, all the girls were slaying me in this book. I was like, yes, girls, get it, right? But Leo kind of annoyed me in this book. Like, he made a really bad decision. Because, like, why? You knew that girl for 3 weeks. And how long did you know, Piper, Jason, Annabeth, and the whole 7? You went on a mystical journey with them. How do you just do that? Like, that's so not cool, dude. So not cool. And I also enjoyed that this book made me ship so many ships that I never would have shipped before. Like, I am now Piker Beth, Jersey, and Solangelo Trash. I've been reading so many fanfictions lately. Like, those are some writers, they capture the characters in better canon than I saw Rick Riordan does. Like, sipping my tea. This is also the first book I've ever annotated. After watching Ariel Bissette's book on how annotating books, I just had to start, like, it's like inline comments on Wattpad. Like, it feels so much freer. Like, I'm actually, like, flipping through this and, like, seeing, like, what I wrote. I wrote some weird things. Wow. whoa, I like doing this. I bet if anybody else picked this up, they'd be like, Anna, you are your brain. It's a strange place. I'm like, yep. I also did, like, I totally kind of forgot about the Hunters of Artemis, but then, like, they come in for, like, 12 seconds, like, 18 of them die, and then, like, they leave again, and I'm like, oh, okay, sure, you doodles. This book, I don't even know how to tell you guys how I just can't even, like, my fangirl inside is that keyboard smash. That's how I pronounce it. I got this book so dental. Okay. This book was something special. But as I did watch a lot of book talks before I actually made my own, 9 books out of 10 is a great average. Like, it was pretty much spot on for all the books but this one, and like it was just a few things that really like brought it down a lot. So Rick Riordan, please write us a better epilogue. Please, please, please. Harry Potter. See this huge hefty box set that I'm lifting up. This 7-book series got a better epilogue than a 10-book series, okay? So we, at the end of the Deathly Hallows, we got to figure out where Ron, Hermione, Harry, Ginny, Draco, Luna, Neville, etc. ended up in their lives. Like, yeah, it was trash and it really wasn't realistic after all the war that actually all the fighting that actually happened in their lives. How we all would have gotten PTSD and like lived alone. But like, we actually got a better epilogue than what happened at the end of this, because here I am. Because reading the last chapter, I didn't know it was the last chapter, because as Rick Riordan usually does, make the glossaries at the end where he like describes like, oh, this is what happened, this is what happened there, this is what the words mean. So I'm reading the second last page of the Cleo mess, and I was like, oh, okay, sure. And then I'm like, okay, turn the page when I think that Leo's gonna fly back and be like, friends, I'm alive. In typical Leo fashion, is the end. And then they fly off into the sunset. An irrelevant character and someone who doesn't tell his friends that he's alive. Center yourself in. Center. Also, okay, let's talk about positive things. Jason got glasses. That was my favorite part. Actually, no, Nike was my favorite part. She's like, take it! Take the Louis Floral! It is a great honor. They're like, okay, pretend to fight, stab! Ah! Bro, says J. Percy. You've wounded me, bro. I'm killing you, bro, says Jason. That is my excellent reenactment of actually what happened, so thank you. But that was one of my favorite parts. And I also liked how, in my mind, you know when Nico was transporting the Athena Parathytosis? He was all like, I imagine this tiny little kid wearing all black, everything, strapped to this huge statue. You know those kids that you see in the park wearing leashes attached to like all the other kids in their daycare? That's what I imagined. And every single time he wanted to shadow travel, he will grab the hands of Coach Hedge and Reyna, and then he'd be like, shadow travel on, like a Pokemon power. That's totally not what happened, but like in my mind it is, okay, my darlings. What else did I really like? I also liked how there was a Fall Out Boy reference in this, so that's actually like 8 points, so good on